Hello, sweet souls. This is DTO in the Flow, and coming to you live from Costa Rica, from Atenas, beautiful small mountain town. I get to show you my office. Got the mandatory hammock that you must have when you're in Latin America, drying your clothes. Good times. So today I get to share with you two extraordinary friends of mine that are like the majority of my friends. They're into music and yoga and raising the vibrations of the planet. And this journey of music, of art, of life being intertwined and connected has been happening for hundreds of thousands of years. And so we are honoring their ancestors that have brought in the influence, honoring Sabrina Sapal's grandmother who taught her the Gayatri mantra in order for this song to come to life, and honoring my mom who taught me how to play piano. And I was classically trained when I was a 5-year-old kid in small town Iowa. So shout out to all my Iowa peeps out there. And I do want to let everyone know that we are live streaming. So at any moment, if you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, any of these platforms, we encourage you to comment, ask a question, share. And if anything, just give us an emoji so we know you're out there, and we'll display your questions on the screen. And to follow me, you can check me out anywhere, DTO Music on all the socials, as well as dtomusic.com. And today when we interview our guests, want to make sure you know who they are. It is Sabrina Sapal on Instagram and Kompass.music. So make sure to follow them and see their extraordinary careers, or what they've been up to in the world, what they're creating. And it looks like we have our first comment coming in. Let's see. Check 1, 2. Hey, Star Sister, how are you? Yes. Star Sister Tiffany, she's actually coming to our retreat in Costa Rica in December. EmbodyCostaRica.com if you want to come to one of our experiences. So thank you for being here live. And let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Open mouth exhale. Let's get present and grounded. And before I introduce my first guest, I want to truly give thanks to everyone that was able to support the live performances that we were doing on a pretty consistent basis in San Diego when I lived there. And this image is from my second album, Infinite Energy. And today we're going to speak about the song Gayatri Activation that was born through this process. And my debut album, Nameless Energy, I have this trilogy of albums where I have this whole theme about energy. So anyone out there that has been following my music career knows that I love to create music about energy. So here's my debut album, Nameless Energy. And then my third in my trilogy of albums is called Radiant Energy. So the album that we're going to be focused on today is Infinite Energy. And I went through all 7 chakras. And actually the ladies here, they call themselves the Chakra Sisters. And that is AT, Sita Rose, and Sita Rose and I have a music video launch happening September 22nd. And then there is Sabrina Sapal. Then we have Himalaya. And then we have It's Not Today. It's Tamara Rodriguez de Monterrey, Mexico, Vivo Mexico. And then we have Emma Grace and Andrea Sainz. And so when this process of creating a song happened, it was, for me, being a Westerner, being inspired by my own asana practice of yoga and recognizing how you can integrate mantra into anything in your life, truly. And for me, I happen to be passionate about music. And so that's the direction that I went in when I created this whole album. And we have Bradley here. Hola, mai. If anyone doesn't know some Costa Rican slang, mai means like dude. Later, maybe Sabrina Sapal can teach us how to say that in Punjabi. And so today what we get to do is talk about music. What is the backstory of music? Why do we create music? What does music do to enhance our lives? And to showcase the intention of today's show is that we have an extraordinary remix that Kompass did. And this artwork represents exactly the energy as well as the mantra that is included in this journey. It is truly a journey song. I have definitely, when Kompass sent over the first few drafts of it, the way you test out a song is you dance to it. And when you dance to it, Himalaya and I were dancing to it, we were like, oh yeah, this is it. This feels good. This is incredible. So from there, I want to bring on Sabrina Sapal, and she is, as you can see right here, representing the throat chakra. All right, here we go. Drum roll for Sabrina Sapal. How are you?
Hi, DTO. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. It's so lovely to see you. And where are you right now in the world?
So I am in Orange County. So I moved to Orange County just a few months ago from San Diego. So it's been nice. It's a great change. And I'm
Wonderful.
in Costa Rica, so that's amazing.
Costa Rica. And when's the last time you were in India?
Oh, it's before Corona, actually, before COVID. So right
Mm-hmm.
COVID, I came back, and then it wasn't so safe, the situation over there. So I thought, okay,
Yeah.
stay here for the time being, and then when it's completely safe to go back, I'll do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you go to Mumbai, right?
Yeah, I go to Mumbai. Yeah, the cream
Wonderful.
of India, basically.
Oh my gosh, I so much can't wait to go. It's on my
It
top 3 lists in the world to go.
yeah.
That's wonderful. And I know you have tons of connections there in the music industry, producers, singers, agents, other
Yeah.
performers.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Like when I was there, I shot a couple of music videos. We had, great PR team to get that, out there on the national TV channels and under labels. So I just learned so much about just the music business of the music industry. So that was amazing. I met so many fantastic personalities, people who I've looked up to my entire life, finally seeing
Mm.
really surreal. So yeah, it's everything exciting you can imagine.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I feel that, when I got to watch you perform, not only at the Belly Up in San Diego when we did the album launch for the album Infinite Energy, um, I got to watch you perform in Canada. And that was incredible because so many different artists from India are traveling. And as you and I know, not everyone knows this in the world. There are a lot of people that have origins and lineage from India that live in Canada. Not everyone knows that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, people call certain cities in Canada like the second India just because there's such a large South Asian population, Indian
Mm-hmm.
popularly. And it's great because they hold on to their culture, and we have such great shows there. And I have the chance to travel there once in a while to do some shows. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. Well, wonderful. Well, I wanted to invite you on first because I'd love to hear your side of the backstory of how this song was birthed. I remember you coming into the studio,
Mm-hmm.
DJ Unite in San Diego, and you went into the recording booth and you had shared with me that for this song, for the throat chakra, Gayatri Activation, that your grandmother had taught you this mantra. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually, well, I kind of knew about the mantra. I mean, I don't come from a Hindu background, but since my family has been in India for generations and generations, we kind of adapt to like, the Hindu culture, and so we know a lot about the Hindu culture, even though I come from like a Sikh background. But it was just so interesting learning about this Gayatri mantra because I mean, if you summarize the whole mantra, it's basically saying that illuminate my intellect. So it's like you're praying to become more intelligent, which I find so interesting. And I was also taught that this mantra is usually recited when people are starting a new journey in education or even just something new in their life, like a new journey. So I thought that was really special, and I was honored to be able to use this in the song. So I was, yeah.
Yes. And I love, love, love this song so much. And the fact that it's had this remix done to it gives it new life, right? From a new artistic interpretation. And I want to give you a big shout out because you're playing a big game in the music industry. I mean, you have a few videos on YouTube that are in the multi-millions of views. I mean,
thank you so much. Yeah,
yeah.
I've just been blessed to just meet the right people. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have had, these interesting experiences where you learn from them, and then, you grow from there and you meet the right people, and then you get to share your art in such a, a huge platform. And yeah, so yes, they have fortunately reached like millions of views, so I'm super thankful and grateful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because in our Chakra Sister text thread, every time people have like a new project or something tied to our album, some of us share these achievements that we're having in life, right? Like new things that are going on. And I remember one of the videos you sent, and when I originally watched it, I think it had like 500,000, and then Himalaya watched it later on, and then she was like, "Oh my gosh, this thing has like 3 million views." I was like, "Yeah, she's on fire." So it was incredible to watch that.
So reached like 10 million like a month ago. So
Oh my gosh, well, that's a huge achievement. 10 million. Wow, that's phenomenal. Yeah, and so I love how music has been such a part of your life for so long. I'd love to kick off the first question to you. So number one is, when did you begin to love music?
ooh, I feel like it's even before I started talking. Like I used to hear family members just tell me that I would sing like the perfect melody while having, a CD on going on in the car, like a Bollywood song or something. I would be like in my car seat in the back and just like perfectly singing the melody, and my dad would look back and be like, this is interesting. It's not normal for like maybe like a 1 or 2 year old to be able to do that. So I just feel like I was born with that love for music, and it just grew from there. Like I grew up listening to a lot of Bollywood music. I didn't speak Hindi, which is like the main language of India, but I can sing in Hindi, and I grew up listening to it. So yeah, I guess that's when I began to love music, and it's just gotten exponentially more over time.
Oh, that's so lovely. And so question number two is, what inspired you to create your own music? It's one thing to mimic and listen to other artists. I call it OPM, other people's music, cover bands, right? I used to play drums and piano and instruments in those types of bands. But then there's this shift that happens where you're like, whoa, music's infinite. I get to create something on my own. I can create my own melody line with my throat chakra, and I can, have someone produce a track and then put it all together and have it be my own. So was there a light bulb moment that happened? Did someone say, hey, let's write a song together? Or did you, it sounds like maybe your dad just heard you start creating your own signature sound. So what happened there?
What inspired? Well, I always wanted to create my own music. It was just a matter of like how to get there. I was always exposed to like, the music industry. I sung a lot of cover songs whenever I would like perform at like local events or festivals. I would definitely sing other people's music who had a positive influence on me, like music wise. And then I think I just met the people who also were starting off in the industry, and they wanted to make their own music, like music producer wise. And I got to learn like, oh, I can make melodies. Oh, so this is the structure of how a song is supposed to how a song is supposed to be. So it's about like learning like the basic fundamentals of songwriting, and then that's what made me create my own music, and also just life experiences and wanting to I guess express it in a way where I can create my own song. So I think it's a combination.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, I love this 5Q interview. Question number three, how do people respond to your music? I've seen it with my own eyes when I saw you perform. I've seen you perform twice one in the States as well as one in Canada. And so, yeah, how do people respond? Not only when you see people move their bodies or sing along, but maybe after the show, people DM you. Like, what is the response that you're getting with your music and your music career?
Yeah, that's awesome. I think one of the happiest moments I've had is I went to Vancouver for a show. This was in 2017. I went to Vancouver and I saw someone in the audience like mouthing the words. There was like a couple of people mouthing the, you know, the lyrics of one of my original songs. And I was like, wow, like people actually are, you know, they know my songs and they know the lyrics. So that was like such a crazy, awesome, fantastic, positive moment for me. Like it was a realization that people actually do enjoy my music. And also, you know, when my music plays at like, you know, clubs and stuff and in Mumbai, and people are having the time of their lives. Also, you know, after performing, a lot of creative people, they hit me up on, you know, Instagram or anything like that, and they want to collab. So that's also something positive. People react to really, really well.
That's wonderful. And I think here's a nice moment. Boom, 10
Yeah.
million views. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
This
Yeah.
video is incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. So, music videos, writing music, performing, touring. So, question number 4 is, what is your creative process? So, how, when people go to YouTube and watch this music video or they listen to this new remix, how is it that people can all of a sudden, like in this moment, understand, like, what does it take? Maybe there's other souls out there that are like, oh my gosh, I'd love to be able to get in the music industry. There has to be some process to it. It's not, even if it's while you're riding in the car with your family, you
Yeah.
get inspired and you sing. Maybe if someone, a producer says, like what you and I did when we created the original song, Gāyatrī Activation, like, how does that work for you?
Yeah. So I think that with each artist that I'm working with, it's different. But personally, like my favorite, I mean, my most common process, not necessarily my favorite, it's just something that I'm most comfortable doing. Is someone, you know, a music producer will send me a beat, and after that, I'll just vibe with the beat on my own, like by myself. And that's usually like late at night, you know, when everybody's asleep and there's just this calmness in the atmosphere, and I feel like I can concentrate most. So what I do is I listen to the beat and then I start humming the melody. And my process is like humming the melody and then you know, finalizing the melody. And on top of the melody, then I create the lyrics. So and that just depends on the vibe, like what kind of lyrics that specific, you know, music demands. And yeah, it's a combination of imagination and life experiences. But with us, yeah, it's awesome. Like I remember us just sitting and producing the song together, and that was such an awesome like that was my first time actually sitting with a music producer, and you actually,
Uh,
you know, the singer, that importance to be like, oh, what should we incorporate like music wise? And I was like, yeah, let's do this, let's do darbuka, let's do harmonium. And you were like, yeah, you were so, you know, enthusiastic about it. So I appreciate that.
yeah, and if you hang out with a teacher, you're going to learn something. That's just, and when the student's ready, the teacher appears. You were ready for that moment. You were like, I was showing you how I do it with my digital audio workstation and showing you how you move sounds around and whatever sound you want. I remember you had some incredible samples, and then we put those in. And one of my favorite memories as well is once you had already recorded all the different possibilities of sounds of when you and I met in the studio, we're like, okay, now let's take this and let's find the little gold nuggets, right? And remember that we're just sifting for gold. Like we're like, ooh, I like that little vocal
Yeah.
line that you did. I don't even want to attempt to do what you do, but it was like this wavy, like, whoa. And I was like, whoa. And then add that to the beat and the music. And then, you know, eventually those vocal stems and those files, once Kompass got a hold of those for this remix, then he was able to work his magic. And, you know, as producer talks, like they chop them up and they make echo effects and loops and all these cool things. So yeah, it was amazing.
Oh, I loved it when I first heard it. It was like mesmerizing, just like, you know, listening to. new remix. Yeah.
Totally. Oh my gosh. And so question 5 is, where can people connect with you? What's the best way that you'd like people to reach out?
Yeah, so Instagram is probably where I am the most. So that's Sabrina K. Sapal. You can DM me. Let's collaborate, people, because I love collaborations. I love just like learning more from others, and yeah, I'm open to any genre, anything, honestly. Yeah, so connect with me.
Wonderful. Awesome. Well, let's bring in Kompass to share about this remix. And the word that you said, I agree with you, Sabrina Sapal. It's mesmerizing. Here he is, Kompass.
Hey everybody, how we doing?
Fantastic. Great to see you. We're all 3 in different countries. Where are you at right now, Kompass?
I am in Mexico. I am in San Cristobal de las Casas in Chiapas, in the southern part of Mexico, close to Guatemala.
Ah, fantastico. And then Sabrina is holding down Orange County, California.
Yep.
And we got Costa Rica in the house. So I love this global, international experience that happens naturally at this point in time, right?
Yeah.
Like
Technology allows us to do it too.
Yep.
Yeah, blessed.
Amazing.
Absolutely. It's so wonderful. So while all 3 of us are here, I'd love to put on maybe the first minute or so of this song, because, you know, you can only talk about music for so long. It's like dancing about architecture. Doesn't really work. You can't just like see the architectural design. It looks like this and this. No, it's like, let's play the music, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to debut for you, if you haven't heard it yet, Gāyatrī Activation featuring Sabrina Sapal, Kompass remix. So amazing. Wow, wow. Love, 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 love. Fantastico, as they say in Costa Rica. Yeah, someone mentioned that they love how the lyrics are displayed. That's really beautiful. And big shout out to Shiansi. He does these motion videos that we get to upload on YouTube and all the places and spaces. So awesome, right? Just gives you a whole other perspective of how art and music, visuals, graphics, it all intertwines. in this audio visual experience, as we are here right now, these pixelations of energy. And so Bradley, give a big shout out. He's watching us live right now. Great work, team. Beautiful art. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for receiving. Mi hermana, hola, ¿cómo estás? Transcendental. Yes, that's what we're here to do. Transcend from the material to the ethereal, which is a line from Kyoshi from the first song of Infinite Energy, right? From the AT song, Ethereal. So yeah, and this whole album had so many different mantras. So thank you, Kompass, for creating this and being a part of this. So you ready for the lightning round 5Q interview?
Yeah, let's get
All right, here we go. So Kompass, question number 1, people want to know, when did you begin to love music?
When did I begin to love music? About as long as I can remember. I think I remember answering this question last time we talked, Dave. Yeah, I remember loving music since I was a little kid, and I remember one of my first memories going over to my dad's record collection and trying to figure out how to use his turntable and turn on the amplifier and get the speakers going. And I heard him playing some Led Zeppelin. I don't know, I must have been like 6 years old, 7 years old, and I'm trying to figure out how to use this amplifier. And yeah, that's like my earliest memory. From there, I started learning piano from my mother. She's a piano teacher. And yeah, just on and on from there. Eventually got to high school, started playing bass and jazz bands, and eventually on to composition and electronic production.
So awesome. And you went to an incredible school of music. Where did you go to?
I went to the Berklee College of Music in Boston, Massachusetts. And I double majored there in film scoring and electronic production and design. I was really interested and fascinated by film music, especially not do much with it nowadays, but the blending of visuals and audio was really, really enlivening to me. So,
it's so great. All right, question number 2. So once you got that inspiration as a young child of music and you felt the power of it, so what inspired you to create your own music? And maybe if you want to go to modern times, what actually got you into electronic music production? Because I think a lot of people that are listening are probably curious about that.
Yeah, well, it started out, you know, playing music in bands. I was a bass player and I played in jazz bands for so long, you know, and being hired on by different bands to play live, and I did that for so long. And then eventually, yeah, with film music, I got really fascinated into like, wow, I can actually create these feelings and emotions and expression through this. And so I got started with that just by writing simple stuff on piano, guitar, playing with some friends. And then eventually I got a copy of Fruity Loop Studio, this program that not a lot of people use. I think a few people use it these days. I think Closey uses it still. But yeah, I started making beats and just doing some simple productions. And yeah, then when I got to more in depth in college and just working in sound design and working with other synthesizers, I'm like, wow, there's such a big world here in electronic music, and it's almost like the Wild West. There's so much pioneering that's going on in this genre of electronic music, and we can almost do whatever we want there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have a good friend that actually has a guitar lesson studio here in Costa Rica, and he's like, oh, I just got Ableton to mix some tracks together. I was like, well, that's like scratching the surface. You're just using it to mix as a DJ. That's great and all, but wait until you dive deep into the production end and what's actually possible, where you can add whatever layers you'd like and samples and loops, and of course all the effects processing and plugins, and as well as for you and I, Kompass, being actual musicians, where we can also record live directly into it, as well as to take in whatever experiences that we have. I love even bringing in sounds of nature, field recording. So yeah, Ableton, we don't get paid to say this, but it's just one of the best products out there.
Yeah, so, it really is.
Yeah, and I went through the thing as well. I had like Reason, Cubase, that I dabbled, of course, you know, Pro Tools. It's amazing. Then you know, Logic is great, but yeah, I think Ableton 11, the new one's great as well. And I feel that when it comes to any style and genre of music, especially to have this song that is connected to India and, you know, thousands of years of mantra and the sacred language and instruments that you got to bring into this remix, it really shows the power of a digital audio workstation. Where, you know, putting on a bass or a guitar and, you know, I play piano, and playing those notes is great. And once you get into the electronic music production realm, it's just this whole other world of possibilities opens up. Just like Sabrina and I were sharing when we were comping the vocals, and she was thinking of different instruments that could go into it. It really opens up for tons of possibilities. All right, question 3. Boom. How do people respond to Kompass music?
Kompass music. Well, generally what I get back from my feedback, and obviously what I put into it, is it's mostly a journey. You know, each song definitely has a, you know, beginning, a middle, and an end, but it's not the same throughout. So it definitely takes listeners on a journey. And a lot of the feedback I get from people, you know, tell me the same thing of like, wow, it really brought me through all these different emotional places, and it wasn't the same throughout. And yeah, a lot of people also see like some acting in it, or possible scenarios for doing music videos. For example, being here in Mexico, meeting some filmmakers, and I'm in the process of making a music video with a woman down here, and same thing for her. She heard the song and just like, wow, this is like a journey. And I had all these images, and I want to do something with it. So yeah, that's generally how people have been responding.
I'm going to pull up an image of your Spotify account, because you are such a multi-instrumentalist, and not everyone may know this, because I think a lot of times people listen to music and they're like, I'm not sure where it came from, but it's somewhere. And it just, you know, a lot of times people just push play and they don't know how it happens, how it works. And so this image of you is really representative of the heart and the passion, the breath that goes into what you're creating. So explain this image. What kind of instrument are you playing? Tell us about this. This is on your Spotify.
Yeah, I love this image. I had a good friend of mine do a Photoshop for me, and I had all my instruments, my whole collection here, and I love them all so much. The one I'm playing right now is it's a Turkish ney, the Mansur ney. And yeah, that one I've used in some productions in the past. I also play the bansuri flutes from India. I think in that image, you can see a guitar, and I had a darbuka there.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah, a little bit on the left, and there's a thumb piano, and I've got I think a Shimano drum on the right that I got in Guatemala, all these things. So yeah, I tend to collect a lot of instruments, and I spend a lot of time with them. And actually in Mexico here, I bought a charango that I've been using in some of my productions recently. So yeah, just feeling a lot of the inspiration from all these different instruments from all over the world, and the energy that they all carry with them. And such a blessing to be able to sit, have the time to spend with them, and bring that energy into my music.
Yeah, and this leads directly into question 4, which is about your creative process. When you have all these tools and instruments, and then you have this electronic music production in front of you, and then you have this incredible education and life experiences. So how does Kompass approach a project?
Yeah, sometimes all those things can be overwhelming. You're like, oh, I have all these tools, all these things, and education and all this. And, you know, if you think about it that way, it can kind of be overwhelming. So a lot of times, for me at least, the creative process starts with just a really simple, like an idea or a seed. And I'll sit down in Ableton and sort of just follow where the creative process goes with an idea. It might be a melody. It could just be a basic rhythm. It could be a sound that I'm hearing in my head, and I sort of start with that and just let it unfold and see what happens. And that's usually like the basis of where I start the productions, and then everything else, it's kind of like a pyramid, comes down and supports that main idea. And so a lot of times, you know, I can sit down in my productions and in one day can have a track really quick. Sometimes it's just getting a simple idea out, and then I'll let it sit in my mind for days or weeks, maybe months, and it slowly unfolds in my mind. And then once that happens, then I can come back into Ableton or whatever I'm working with to help support that vision. But yeah, that's usually how it works for me. And the Gayatri Mantra remix that I was doing, I started here on the road in Mexico, and so this is one that I can say it was really easy to start with because I had these beautiful vocals and words to work with, which is obviously such a potent inspiration for this track. So starting with those and seeing where they pulled my creative direction, so bringing the words into Ableton, stretching them out, and then going from there.
Oh, I love that. And yeah, that's what, I'm grateful to say that a lot of remix producers I've been working with, the vocalists that come to me, or however the law of attraction works, Sabrina Sapal's vocals are so incredible. And for you to get those, it's like, there's your golden platter of possibilities. And you're probably like, wow, okay, what shall I do? Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so question number 5, where can people connect with you? What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is compass.music. I put posts up there. I put little snippets of my music every now and then. I also have a website I do for personal stuff, nolanwatt.com, but that's more of like what I do for work. This is more of my passion project for Compass. So yeah, Instagram would be the best way. Reach out to me, send messages. I love collaborating too. It's one of my biggest inspirations is working with other people.
Oh, that's fantastic. So let me give a big shout out to your Instagram page. This looks incredible. Makes me want to travel already, seeing the pyramid. Where was this pyramid at?
That was Palenque, which is also in which is
I've been to Palenque. Years ago, I went to Palenque.
Yeah, not there.
Fantastic.
Like, we were out in the jungle. So much inspiration down here in Mexico. It's amazing.
Well, let's bring Sabrina back on. Hey, Sabrina.
Hi.
We're going to go check out your Instagram as well and see what you have going on.
That's so awesome.
Hey, when did you become a drummer? I know. I've seen you play the drums, but not the actual drum set. This is incredible. Do tell.
Yeah. Oh, I was actually okay, so I rented out this one studio. I had to do some vocals, and they had like this huge array of like instruments everywhere, and I was just like going crazy on everything. I was like, yeah, okay. And then my friend like got this shot over here.
Oh gosh, that's awesome. And a pearl drum set. This is great. So let me show this little clip that you posted as well.
Yeah.
It has the remix. Here it is. This is from our big launch night in San Diego. Here we go. Beautiful. And you have some incredible professional photos.
Yeah.
Then, of course, you shared the remix. Looks amazing. And
so were you playing darbuka in that last video?
Yeah, I was playing darbuka.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, that's awesome.
So wonderful. Oh my gosh. So grateful that we all got to be here and connect and talk about music, something we're so passionate about, talk about this remix, talk about, where people can connect with you. Also, do you have anything beyond this remix that you'd like to share? Give you an opportunity, either one of you, to talk about any future projects. I know you, Kompass, you just said that you're working on a music video. Do you want to share quickly about that?
Yeah, it's still in the early production stages. Still working on like storyboarding and finding the actress, but hopefully that'll be out in the next like month or two. So the previous collaboration with an amazing producer called Lunar Symphony. She's also from Mexico, currently lives in Arcata, California, but two of us worked on a couple tracks together. So yeah, that one should be out in a couple months. Other than that, as always, as music producers, we have all these projects on the plate. So slowly coming to fruition in the next month or two. You know.
Fantastic. How about you, Sabrina?
Working on like various audios right now. All I can say probably like 3 or 4 genres. Working on an album, so hopefully, yeah, it's out soon. I'll probably be advertising that soon.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. So make sure everyone out there, you go to your Instagram, follow Kompass.music, Sabrina K. Sapal. And there's a couple other comments I want to add to the screen here. It's been an amazing journey for breath work. Oh, that's cool. I love how people are utilizing this remix for things that may not have ever been thought of before, right? That's wonderful. Exactly. I love it. And that's the power of music, right? We get to create, we get to, it's like a message in a bottle. We just cast it off into the universe. And especially now with global connectivity, I mean, an interesting thing happened for me. I was looking at my Spotify analytics, and of my top 5 cities in the world, 3 of the 5 are in Australia. So who knows that like DTO is big in Australia, but I guess I've never been to Australia. But I met a lot of people when we were at the Bali Spirit Fest in 2019. Himalaya and I were there to perform, and a lot of people from Australia go to Bali and Indonesia, Singapore, that region. And yeah, and also there's a lot more. I mean, so grateful for Mother India to bring all of this wisdom and goodness to all of us Westerners to hopefully quiet the mind. And yoga's reaching Costa Rica. Yoga, of course, has reached Mexico, and the Yogananda who brought it to Encinitas years ago in California, and then now in Australia more and more. It's incredible to witness, right, Sabrina?
Definitely. It's all about globalization and borderless world.
Yes, absolutely. And for us to be connected in these ways, and then for us to have that connection to ourselves, and to really have these prayers and these mantras and these ways of, you know, grounding ourselves, and, you know, whatever direction and whatever dharmic path we're on, to have this steadfast purpose of what we're here to do. And the 3 of us, we're lit up and we're passionate about music. So I'm so grateful that you got to be here on this 5Q interview, DTO in the Flow. And everyone, thank you for watching who's here live, and thank you for anyone on the archive. All right, blessings to everyone.
Yeah, and thank you, Dave and Sabrina, just officially here too, for bringing me on board and just creating this amazing track to start with, and trusting me to infuse it with my sounds as well. So yeah, thank you very much. It's been a really pleasure and an honor.
Thank you, DTO.
You're welcome. All right, we'll play a little bit more of the clip on our way out. And thank you for being here, everyone.